Yung
Good point. Very good point.
we have to fight this kasi
Yes.
ang strategy nila to become to fall under the witness protection program
Right.
as an ordinary witness or a state witness. But the effect of that is they're released from criminal liability and not subject to forfeiture anymore. And that means ma-legitimize yung kanilang ninakaw.
Yes.
Exactly.
So we have to keep on sending this message. Wag i-accept unless nag-surrender.
Nagkakandara pa sila ngayon na sumama sa witness
Oh,
protection
everybody.
para maging state witness. Dahil
Yeah.
exactly yung sinasabi niyo, Justice, hindi lang sila hindi makukulong. Yung ninakaw nila ay
Ma-legitimize
hindi
pa, yeah.
kukunin ulit.
Hindi
At
na-
saka yun ang sinasabi ni Marcoleta, hindi kailangan mag-surrender. That will be part of the judgment of the court. Hindi nga pwedeng,
Oo,
kasi
kaya nga-
nakalagay sa batas You cannot be subject to forfeiture. Kaya everybody wants to be a state witness.
Oo. Kaya nga binanatan siya ni Senator Ping Lacson. Bakit mo sila dinidepensahan? Sabi ni Senator
Di
Ping
may
Lacson.
bagong term, Sir
Oo.
Ronald, Discaya diehard
Hindi, ang
supporters.
problema, nag-announce si Remulla na they will be given protection as witnesses.
Grabe.
I hope na hindi pa sila inaccept. Kasi formal yan. As an ordinary or state witness, magpipirma ka
Oo.
Baka-
Pero pwede kasi na kasama doon sa agreement, i-forfeit muna.
Yeah, dapat nasa agreement talaga yan.
Forfeit
Otherwise-
muna bago sila bigyan ng immunity.
Because if you don't do that, you cannot forfeit anymore. Because
Yeah.
the law says you cannot be subject to forfeiture.
At lalong sasabog ang outrage sa mga tao. Dahil sila yung alam ng tao na icons of corruption
Yeah, kaya nga, let's say, si Discaya, if they are now admitted as state witness, tapos hindi mo pinasaoli, hindi mo na mahabol yung ninakaw nila.
Yun nga
Yes.
At pwede nila igalaw.
Yeah.
They can circulate the money. They can use the money. They
Yeah,
can...
that's why it has to be stopped We have to raise hell Na
Sabing-
wag i-accept.
Yes.
As state witness.
Yes. Sabi nga ni Montulpo, isang senador
May 1
tumanggap
billion
ng
daw.
150 million no, para protektahan itong contractor na ito at madala as state witness. Si Montulpo yun kinuquote ko lang siya. Ang alam ko kasi hindi
Di umano,
150.
di umano.
Ang alam ko kasi hindi
Bilyones.
150. Alam ko 250
Alam ko 1 million.
At ang original na hiningi ay 1B.
Yeah, 1 B yun. Yun,
Oh,
1 B yung narinig ko. Yeah.
Yun yung original na hiningi. Nag-settle sa 250.
How is that decision made? Who becomes state witness? Is it a
DOJ yun
DOJ.
DOJ yun, di ba? Exactly.
Recommendatory lang.
So ano yung sinasabi niya naman, disbar sa Remulla, yung tinitreaten? Mark, what is your take on the independent
I
commission?
think they should first read Oedipus Rex. Oedipus Rex is admired as a king, admired for his integrity, and above all, for his burning desire to search for the truth, regardless of where it leads. In the case of Oedipus, true to himself, he was the one guilty, and he punished himself. That is the problem now of ICI. What if it leads to the king
Goes all the way, yeah.
in the search for truth? Will the king admit if the truth comes to him himself? Will he admit, like Oedipus, that he should blind himself and punish himself? That's the problem ICI faces.
Ang kaibahan sa Oedipus Rex, wala siyang vice president na Sarah. No, yun yung
Yeah,
kaibahan.
that's a big challenge.
Pag umabot sa kanya at mag-resign siya, si Sarah ang papalit. Yun yung kaibahan sa Oedipus Rex.
What about the ombudsman aspect, Justice Carpio? We discussed that for quite some time. And mukhang na-clear na si Remulla so far.
Yeah,
Mukhang yun ang purpose ng acting ombudsman.
Yeah, they have to appoint now because the ombudsman is critical here.
Yeah.
Because the impeachment is practically dead. But the ombudsman has the power to get the bank account records of every government official. Because when you file your SALN, nakalagay doon, I hereby authorize the ombudsman to verify my statement of assets and liabilities with the appropriate government agencies. One of those agencies is AMLA.
Right.
So, the ombudsman can ask the bank records of Vice President Sara. And then, lalabas yun, no? Of Duterte, the Duterte family. Because it's still there. The SALN of the president is still there. It can be verified. Wala pa namang the prescriptive period is not set in yet. So that's another
Important, yeah.
if the
Deus ex machina.
impeachment is now dead in the water because the Supreme Court has killed it, that's the other avenue.
For accountability.
Yes, for accountability. And that's the reason why Remulla is there.
And you, Justice Ascuna, how important...
And that's the reason also why Aimee and Pulong have filed cases to stop him
To
from
stop
being,
him, yeah.
That's basically it. The battle there is for the bank records of VP Sara and the Duterte family.
So you're optimistic Remulla has a good chance? If hindi,
I
he
think
ends
has
up
a
in the
good chance.
final three.
He has the best chance.
Oh, it's a very good chance.
According to our political
Two good
number
chance.
one political analyst in the country.
Wait! Tied at number one with the... No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Ikaw, just ask ko na, how important is the ombudsman, the incoming ombudsman? Kasi parang medyo behind schedule tayo. We're expecting to have the new ombudsman by now.
Well, the ombudsman is a prosecutor, and he's the one charged with all this. He should be the one really pursuing the prosecution of all these who are guilty. But we don't even have an ombudsman. That's a problem because we are in the process of changing ombudsman. So the number one person who should be the center of the remedy to this whole mess is not there. So they should hurry up with the choice of the right person for the right job, and so that all these people can be prosecuted. Otherwise, it's all talk, and our people might forget this whole thing after, easily forget it.
Mukhang justice
Wala
next,
yung momentum.
mukhang next week lalabas na yung pangalan.
Yeah.
Na alam naman natin kung sino.
Wala man lang surprise. It's
That's
not
the gospel truth. Pag galing kay...
Oy, surprise!
I'm
Surprise! Na-surprise kami.
But what if, yung conspiracy theory na, this is just a conspiracy theory, na magiging, if Sara for some reason becomes the next president, that important office could become a bargaining position. I mean, like, their conspiracy theories, like, di ba, ombudsman is there for the what? Next 7 years?
7 years,
Oh.
7 years. Pero he can be impeached.
Yun din.
yeah.
So what are the procedures to impeach and impeach? Let's say, Sara becomes the next president.
The same.
Kambangga niya yung mga Remulla.
Same process. Pero mahirap na dahil kay Marvic Leonin, pinahirapan na niya
but
impeachment process.
Yun nga. Kaya nga ngayon, mahirap na. Oh.
what is your basis for saying Sara is the next?
No, let's say, hypothetically, couldn't it be a kind of insurance policy, some would say? Like, binangga mo yung mga Dutertes, you want to be in some position of power.
Hypothetical, justice. Kung sakaling naging presidente kay Sara, anong gagawin niya sa ombudsman na hindi kanya?
Sabi natin, Remulla is ombudsman. So, andun siya until
but it's
2030.
important, when does she become president?
2028.
Well, by that time, Remulla would have finished already with his
Investigation, et cetera, et
Lalabas na yan. It's now public. The records will be public if, in fact, it's true that billions are there in those bank accounts.
Ibig sabihin ni Justice,
So that in 2028, in the elections,
exposed na si Sara.
exposed na si Sara.
Right.
You really don't need a.
You can close the show.
Yeah.
You can close the show before she takes over.
So I see that as very crucial.
Interesting
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah.
So there's another liver here. I mean, if you're big
that's it.
him,
Yeah,
that's a
why
big
I'm saying,
liver. Yeah.
Because the Supreme Court has killed the impeachment, the Marcos faction has no alternative but to do this through the
Ombudsman, yeah.
and make it public. These are the bank records. Because of that authority of the ombudsman to verify the bank accounts of anyone, whether they jibe with the SALN.
Yeah. That's the role of the acting ombudsman. John the Baptist siya.
Yeah.
paving the way
Yeah.
for someone
That's why,
greater than him.
that's why the OP is bent on clearing the DOJ secretary to qualify. And the Marcos group, the Duterte group, through Aimee and Pulong, are bent on stopping it.
But
Because
it's not
that-
working. It looks like it's not working
Yung
anymore.
nagsampa ng kaso sa kanya sa ombudsman was
Aimee.
before, no? Yung nagsampa si Pulong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first to file was
Yeah.
Aimee for kidnapping. For kidnapping.
Tapos Baste also later.
At tapos
And then when the acting ombudsman cleared Remulla, Pulong filed again.
yes.
Pulong Duterte filed the same kidnapping case.
Yeah.
So this is really they just want to prevent
Yeah.
Remulla.
Because
Remulla.
they knew
because they know
The
what will
objective
happen.
of Remulla.
Everybody knows the objective.
yeah.
Basang-basa eh. Everybody knows. We all know the objective. Because the Supreme Court stopped the impeachment.
yung onus lumipas sa ombudsman.
Yeah, the Marcos forces have to think of another way of destroying the credibility of Sara.
Or weakening her politically at least.
To weaken her.
Like
her,
the ombudsman can open her bank accounts.
Yeah, well, the ombudsman can get it through the AMLA. Through the AMLA.
For example, using the SALN
Yeah,
as a
using the
basis.
SALN.
As the
Yeah.
basis. Oo.
Because that's how, in the impeachment of Corona, that's how the ombudswoman at the time got it, through the AMLA. That's why she waived those papers.
At
Yeah.
They all came from AMLA.
At na-delay yung decision ng Supreme Court. Nauna yung AMLA.
Yeah, yeah. Although the Supreme Court said that it's protected. So, everybody knows the game plan.
Right.
And all of this back and forth filing, it's because the Supreme Court blocked the impeachment.
Yeah.
And so the Marcoses are using this process now to the ombudsman. Because ang punot dulo dito, this is really a fight to the death between two dynasties, two political dynasties.
Existential.
Existential battle. Because Sara said, puputulan ko ng ulo the moment she becomes president. No?
May hit list siya eh. Anong
Pero
number ka,
justice,
Sir,
they have to hurry eh. Dahil
Yun nga eh, time
habang
element, yeah.
ginagawa ito, there are forces on the side ready to pounce.
Right.
No? Yun yung kaya kung hindi nila bibilisan ito, mauunahan sila.
The ground might give away. The ground below this fight might give away.
This way, this attempt at a coup
Yeah.
Right.
is preemptive, but it failed, no? It collapsed.
For now.
Actually,
For now.
actually it's not a coup eh. Ano, a coup kasi is a section of the military ay attempting to seize power and eventually fighting another section of the military.
Yeah.
Mukhang ang plano is a
Just
withdrawal
withdrawal
of support.
support, yeah.
Ayaw na nila mangyari yung 89 coup na sila-sila yung
Nag-split.
nagpatayan. No?
Split,
More than 300 soldiers na namatay doon eh. Ayaw na nila yung trauma na yun
Split,
eh.
yeah.
Kung sakaling magkakaroon, ang gusto nila is a withdrawal of support.
Yeah, like the
ERAP.
ERAP, yeah. Withdrawal of support.
Yun ngayon ang framework.
Kaya I was watching
in,
ano eh.
in ERAP's time, in the withdrawal support, we made sure that it will be a constitutional succession. That's why Chief Justice Davide administered the oath of Gloria as permanent president, hindi vice.
Right.
Not hindi acting.
Correct.
Because if it's acting, the following day, ERAP can claim it back. And what will happen to the military? They already withdrew support. They will not allow it because if ERAP becomes president again, he will fire all of those who withdrew support. Support to him, no?
Tsaka nagpa-snap election siya, di ba? Si ERAP, pinapa-snap election niya, di ba? I was watching Ping Lacson's press conference in 2001, yeah.
Here, we have, but here, what they will do if they are able to withdraw support, that will not be constitutional.
Yeah.
Because
It's not. It's not.
It's not because Bongbong BBM is not resigning.
Yes. It's not.
So if they install Sara, it's because of their own power. It's not because
Yes.
of the Constitution.
That's why it's going
Sa
to be
puppet nila yan.
That's why it's going to be a revolutionary government.
Yeah,
it's
it will be a
outside of
revol-
the Constitution.
Yeah, it will be a revolutionary
Suspended
government,
na yun.
and they've chosen Sara to head it.
Right.
But at any time, they can take
Withdraw
over
it
from
because
Sara.
she's
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
It is not a succession.
It is not
Right.
succession.
It's an imposition.
Yes. It is not
So
a
extra
constitutional
constitutional, yeah.
succession,
Extra constitutional, yeah.
which means that all the justices of the Supreme Court can be replaced because
Yeah.
it's a new
Yeah.
Order, yeah,
yeah,
basically.
it's a new order. It's no longer the 1987 Constitution that is in place. It's a revolutionary government.
Yes. Yeah.
They
Interregnum.
just chose the vice president to be the head.
Yeah. And since the Constitution has been suspended, anything can happen.
Yes.
Yun ang problema. Pwedeng
Yeah,
sections
yeah,
of the military
right.
na ayaw dito sa junta nito can fight them.
Open season.
And if you have a situation where the Constitution has been abolished or suspended, that provision in the Constitution now that says the President is the Commander-in-Chief, wala na yun. So who is now the Commander-in-Chief?
Commander-in-Chief.
Is the Chief of Staff.
Mm.
So
Si Bronner.
right now, the civilian government has control over the military,
Military, yeah.
because of
Coercive
that
arm
phrase.
of the state.
The president shall be the commander-in-chief.
Chief, yeah,
Kung
yeah.
mawala yung presidente,
If you abolish the constitution, that provision is no longer there. So who is now the commander-in-chief of the military? It's the chief of staff.
Yeah. The fact, yeah, the real, yeah.
And that's why it's important to maintain a constitutional succession so that the civilian authority will be superior. But if you disregard the Constitution, it's not a constitutional succession, the President is not the Commander-in-Chief. He is just the chosen figurehead of the military.
actually, in simple terms, a military junta or a revolutionary government is a dictatorship.
Yes.
Yeah. No checks and balance.
Yeah.
No,
In other words, if
no legal framework. No.
Yeah. In other words, if you do away with the Constitution, what is the governing law? It's just who has the
Who controls the junta?
Who controls the military?
Yeah.
The power comes out of the barrel
Or
of the gun.
Mao Zedong.
So that's it. It's basically there's no constitution. There's no provision. Commander-in-chief is the president. No more.
There's
It's the chief.
there's no civil liberties.
And the-
Theoretically.
and the entire Supreme Court can be changed. There's no legislature. The legislative power is in the junta. They will pass the law.
No more podcast for Haydarian.
No more podcast for
I will be
Haydarian.
live from the
Si
AFP.
Justin.
Yes, Justice Ascuna, you're saying.
No, but I have a decision. Alam ito ni...
Decision penned by
Yeah, you wanna,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
That if the Constitution is totally abolished, our civil liberties are still there under under international law, the Declaration of Human Rights.
Okay, yeah.
So
That's
that
good.
has been stated
May
already.
backup pala
I wrote.
tayo.
Yeah.
So our civil liberties will remain.
the best decision ever of the Supreme Court.
Yun.
By-
Yeah. So we have
Ligtas yung podcast ko.
no,
Di pa rin.
there is a fail-safe system.
Yeah.
But
Backup system, yeah.
as far as the individuals are concerned, we are protected. But as far as who will rule, it will be the military.
Yes. Which again, I emphasize, is a dictatorship.
Yeah, it's a
It will
dictatorship.
dictate.
Yeah, because they're not chosen by the people.
Yes,
no?
yes.
Some would say na tapos na sanang laban lahat nung last weekend kung hindi si Sara Duterte yung vice president.
Actually, everything happened in the span of a few months.
Right.
Halimbawa, kung nilaunch ng presidente yung anti-corruption last year,
Yeah.
no? Kung tinapos nila yung impeachment last year, no? Marami dito sa nangyayari ngayong gulo na iwasan. Paano, nag-launch ka ng anti-corruption movement nung na-expose na yung corruption? Not by you, no?
Yeah.
No, not by you. So, yun yung problema. Tapos, yung makikinabang dito sa gulo, yung Vice President, si Sara, ay makikinabang dahil hindi siya na-impeach. Pero kung na-impeach siya, baka hindi siya yung makinabang. So, iba yung magiging tono of the political landscape. So, in circumspect,
Yes.
in retrospect pala, in
Yeah.
retrospect.
Well,
Yeah.
I think when the president said, mahiya naman kayo in his zona, referring to the flood control projects, I think he did not realize
Saan
the
pupunta?
consequences of that.
Yeah. 2 steps ahead. He didn't see the 2 steps ahead.
He didn't realize that all the support system, all the political networks
May
supporting
collapse.
him may collapse because they're all into it.
Eh, yung dalawang pumapalakpak sa likod niya, tanggal eh. Yung speaker at saka yung Senate President. Si Justice.
There has been a shift in the crisis. With the impeachment of Sarah, our crisis was one of accountability.
Right.
Now it has been transformed. into
Systemic
one of
legitimacy.
Governance.
Yeah. The whole legitimacy of the
The whole
system.
thing.
Yeah. You're
The
right.
whole thing.
Tama,
It's now
tama.
crisis of
This is,
government.
nag-metastasize yung buong system na ngayon ang apektado eh.
Yeah, I think they're still not in the right track now. I mean, for example, the Senate, some people in the Senate and even in the executive might grant witness protection
Yeah, that could be another trigger point
state
Ron,
witness
yeah.
protection to the people involved in these flood control projects. So they will get away with it. They'll be laughing all the way to the bank
Yeah.
with their loot intact. Lalong magagalit ang tao.
That's a trigger.
That's a trigger, yeah.
Lalong magagalit ang tao when the people realize na ano pala, hindi pala, walang forfeiture pala ito.
Yeah.
They can keep the ill-gotten wealth. Magagalit ang tao. I think they have to be careful because that could be the trigger. That
So,
could be the trigger.
basically,
Yeah.
dapat sabihin, bagong patayin yung mga korap, kunin mo na yung pera nila. Kasi
Yeah.
yun ang problema kung pinatay mo, baka di mo makuha yung mga pera.
Yeah, because the lesson there, if they keep their money, there's no forfeiture.
Yeah.
In other words, it pays. It pays to enter into
And then hunker down, then
those
protect
projects
it. Yeah.
like this.
But I was mentioning kanina, I was asking also Justice Ascuna, I mean, should we call out the banks, the law firms, the courts, everything that is giving this sense of impunity? Because impunity is a systemic problem.
There should be a national summit to address this whole thing.
Yeah.
It should be called by the
Supreme
leaders
Court.
of
Yeah.
the 3 departments, by the President, the Senate President, and by the Chief Justice. And all sectors will be called upon, including the heads of the Constitution.
So parang kanyan, Justice, parang yung Truth Commission sa South Africa, sa Latin
Truth and
America.
Reconciliation.
Na parang extrajudicial yung powers nila, no, na magpatawag. No, ganun yung nangyari noon eh, no? To heal the wounds of apartheid, no, of dictatorships in Latin America. Nagtawag sila ng ganon.
That's right.
Now, medyo all-encompassing. Dahil corruption is all-encompassing.
Yeah, systemic na siya, yeah.
Systemic siya.
Systemic. And an all-nation approach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody has to be.
So who will be the locomotive of that? Because obviously the two camps we're talking about, they're there to save themselves or bring each other down. So that leaves us, right? Or, I mean, the civil society, basically. The neither Duterte nor Marcos side, right? Justice? I mean, someone has to hold the center, right? Because if the center gives away, the vultures are ready to take over.
Pero yun ang problema, Richard eh.
Yeah.
You have a very weak political center,
Yun nga, yeah.
continuing to get weaker, especially the institutions around it. Tapos you have a very volatile situation.
Very volatile, yeah.
Na may
exactly.
mga explosions around the center. Anything can happen. Yun ang problema, Justice. Wala kang fulcrum which can
yung
balance
pivot
all
niya,
these
yeah.
contradictions. Kaya lumalabas itong mga threats. Eh.
Yeah,
Hindi sila takot eh. Nobody's afraid.
yeah.
Open
I was
season.
thinking that the Supreme Court could hold the center by
Exactly, yun nga, hold the center.
deciding the cases correctly and on time.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
that doesn't happen,
Yeah.
then what do we do?
Yeah.
We'll try to do
Ito
this.
people's initiative.
People's initiative.
Yun nga, eh.
Yeah, that's really the last already. Because if we can't succeed, there's nothing else. We've exhausted all the remedies. The last really is the people's initiative.
And the purpose is not only to win. The purpose is to harness this outrage towards something constructive.
Yeah,
Oo,
the
diba?
purpose is
Oo.
to save the country from a military dictatorship, to save the country from collapse, no? To hold the center and to maintain the constitution.
Yes.
That's why we're doing it through a people's initiative. But if that doesn't happen, if that fails, wala na eh. I don't see anything else eh.
What about destabilization from outside?
Well, that means
Because the messed up Philippines is good for some countries, right? Period.
In other words, it's outside the constitution already. I
It's
mean,
out of
if
order.
it's outside the constitution, anything goes. I mean, we cannot predict what will happen because you don't have a framework anymore.
Yun nga, yung framework.
Yeah,
eh.
we have
Even
to
if-
maintain the framework.
Ang maganda, may pinen kayo na batas.
Yeah,
Na,
but-
at least civil liberties
Safe wall, yeah.
should be there.
Yeah.
Kung itong junta na ito,
Yeah.
ilalabagin yon, kalaban nila international.
Yeah, at least that preserves our personal freedoms, personal rights. But in terms of economic development, in terms of governance, wala
Investors,
yun.
yeah.
Yeah. I just remembered, bago ako umalis, may isa ko siyang show. Naalala ko lang na si Justice Ascuna at si Justice Carpio were there nung dinesisyonan yung state of emergency ni Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo
Right,
na na-arrest
2007.
kami ni
Yeah,
Randy
yeah.
David. We were there during the hearing. Andun kayo sa harapan namin. Si Raul Pangalagan, yung aming abogado. No? Na eventually, sinabi nyo na hindi constitutional yung state of emergency because it didn't satisfy the three conditions for a state of emergency. No? Naging landmarkation sabi ni Justice Panganiban Siya yung Chief Justice noon di ba? Invasion, state of lawlessness, insurrection. So, that became a landmark case. Sa mga bar exams ngayon, tinatanong yun.
Nasa jurisprudence na kayo.
David Llamas et al.
On that note, let's take a break shortly, Justice. Let's continue part of this later on with the two justices.